God says, "My child, there is a restlessness moving through your spirit tonight. You can't explain it, yet you feel it pulsing like an invisible signal, something trying to touch the edge of your peace. Listen closely, because this is not a sound of fear, it is my call awakening you. Your soulmate's heart has wandered into a fog of confusion. Shadows of doubt and old pain are circling their thoughts, tracking every spark of light that tries to rise in them. I need you to stay still and open your spirit now. Do not let the tremor of worry guide you, let faith breathe through you instead. The darkness that follows them has no body, no face, it is only the echo of wounds never healed. It feeds on fear, on memories left unforgiven. But when a heart chooses love, it burns brighter than any shadow. You, my child, carry that flame. Close your eyes. Breathe. Feel my presence settle over you like gentle rain. I am showing you that energy moves before words do. When you sense their pain, you are touching the current that flows between your souls. You were never meant to panic, you were meant to pray. Speak not from anxiety but from trust, for your voice in spirit reaches further than any message sent by hands. Your soulmate's mind is heavy with noise, opinions, regrets, guilt. These are the footprints the darkness follows. Yet I have placed around them angels of clarity. Every time you whisper their name with love, those angels catch it like light and carry it to them. You cannot see it, but even now they are beginning to feel warmth returning to their chest, a peace they cannot explain. That is you, guided by me. Do you remember when your own nights were filled with doubt, when every silence felt like rejection? That is how your soulmate feels now. They believe they are alone, but they are standing in the glow of your unseen prayer. You became their signal in the dark. My child, do not allow fear to convince you that love has failed. The interference you feel is only a test. It comes to see if you will collapse under worry or rise in worship. When you pray, say these words slowly and let them sink into the air. Light of God, surround the one I love. Truth of heaven, fill their mind with peace. No shadow can follow where your angels stand. Speak this 3 times, not as a chant of desperation but as a declaration of authority. You are not begging me to act, you are agreeing with what I already will. Now listen. In this very moment, I am touching the energy line between you and your soulmate. What was tangled is loosening. What was silent is beginning to hum again with life. You may notice small things shift, dreams returning, songs playing at just the right time, your heart softening instead of closing. These are signs that the light is intercepting the signal of confusion. Do not chase explanations. Do not demand answers from them before their spirit is ready. Stay rooted in love, and let patience guard your heart. Every prayer you release becomes a wall of gold around them. Darkness cannot enter where compassion stands watch. I see how tired you are of waiting, of hoping that they will finally understand what you feel. But love forged in light is never wasted time. Even when words are lost, your spirit still speaks. And I, who dwell beyond time, am weaving both of your journeys into one divine rhythm. So tonight, when the thought of them arrives like a sudden ache, do not reach for worry. Reach for me. Whisper their name into my light and say, let peace find them now. I promise you, something unseen will shift. They may not call at once, but they will feel the pull of home. You ask, why must there always be darkness before dawn? Because light must know its own strength. Because faith is born not in comfort but in choice. My child, I have chosen you to stand in the breach for someone whose spirit once protected you in ways you could not see. This is not punishment, it is purpose. Through your prayer, both of you will rise. So do not be afraid when silence stretches or when the air feels heavy. That heaviness is only the old energy leaving. Keep your words pure, your heart forgiving, and your faith unshaken. I am already restoring what fear tried to erase. God says, my child, you did well to stay calm when you felt the tremor pass through your spirit. Darkness loses its grip when you refuse to feed it with fear. Now listen while I show you what lies unseen. Your soulmate carries memories that have never fully rested. Old words still echo in them, and every echo leaves a doorway cracked open. Through those cracks the whisper of confusion enters, thoughts that say, you are unworthy of love, you will only be hurt again. These thoughts are not truth, they are static meant to blur the signal between two hearts that were built for light. Do not resent them for listening to those lies. Many souls mistake noise for guidance when they are tired. Instead, I ask you to answer the noise with peace. Each time you feel a sudden heaviness, like a cloud sliding between you, pause, breathe, and call my name. Say, I choose peace now, not panic. Those 5 words summon more angels than you can imagine. I want you to understand how interference travels. It does not march in with thunder, it seeps in through impatience, worry, comparison. When your soulmate scrolls through memories or messages, when they wonder if love ever meant anything, the whisper grows louder. But every time you pray for them, light crosses the distance faster than any signal. It wraps around their mind and reminds them of safety. You may notice that you begin to dream of them at strange hours. This is no accident. Their higher self is reaching for yours, seeking warmth. In those dreams, speak gently. You don't need many words. Sometimes the most powerful prayer is a single breath that says, be free. My child, darkness can mimic many things. Sometimes even reason. It can make you question if you imagined your connection, if you should give up, if you should harden your heart to protect yourself. Those thoughts do not come from me. They are the echo trying to close the light you've opened. Let them pass through you like wind through open hands. When you wake in the night and your chest feels tight, know that you are feeling what they cannot yet describe. Do not be afraid of this sensitivity. It is the bridge between your spirits. Use it to send peace, not pity. Picture a river of gold moving from your heart to theirs. That is how energy travels, quietly, surely, unbroken. I see your tears when you think no one is watching. Each one becomes a seed of grace. Wherever that tear falls, an angel plants comfort. Already the ground beneath your soulmate's feet is softening. They are starting to notice gentle coincidences, numbers repeating, songs reappearing, faces smiling when they most need them. These are my way of telling them, you are not lost. Do not demand that they run toward you yet, healing walks slowly. You must let them remember love at their own pace. The thread between you will not snap. It is made of divine material, stretched but never broken. There will be moments when the interference grows louder again. You will feel their distance, their silence. That is when I ask you to use faith as your language. Instead of wondering why, whisper thank you. Gratitude blinds darkness. When you thank me in the middle of confusion, the echo cannot find where to land. Child, the battle you sense is not about possession but perception. Darkness wants them to see themselves as unlovable, and you as unreachable. But I am rewriting that script even now. In the unseen realm, light is gathering around them like dawn around a mountain. Keep your focus on love's essence, not its outcome. When you imagine them, do not picture their fear, picture their freedom. See them laughing again, standing in sunlight, believing that goodness belongs to them. That image becomes a prayer, and prayer reshapes reality. I will show you small signs soon, perhaps a sudden calm, a dream, a message from someone unexpected, that will tell you your intercession is working. Do not measure time by days, measure it by the peace returning to your own heart. For as you heal, they heal too. Now, place your hand over your chest. Feel your heartbeat. That rhythm is older than any distance. It is my rhythm inside you. Every beat says, still here, still loved, still guided. Remember this whenever confusion tries to speak louder than hope. I am with your soulmate even when they cannot feel me. I am speaking through moments that seem ordinary, a friend's kindness, a stranger's smile, the sudden urge to forgive themselves. You and I are working together, heaven and earth joined, to bring one lost light home. Rest tonight knowing the signal of love is clearing. The shadows are losing their language, and faith is teaching you both how to hear again. The silence between heaven and earth grew heavier as night unfolded its dark wings. In that sacred stillness, the voice of God continued to flow into your soul like a gentle river of light, guiding, warning, and healing you all at once. My child, God's voice whispered, tender yet commanding, there are things happening around your soulmate that your eyes cannot yet see. The danger is not just physical, it is spiritual. The one tracking their phone is not only a man led by darkness but a vessel through which evil is trying to destroy the divine connection I created between you both. This is not merely about a phone. This is about a soul that is being hunted, a destiny that darkness wants to silence before its light can rise. The air around you thickened, and you could almost feel your heart beating louder. You saw a vision, your soulmate alone, unaware that something was watching, waiting, following every move. You wanted to reach out, to scream their name, but fear pressed against your chest like a stone. And then, God's voice broke through your trembling thoughts. Do not fear, my child, he said gently. Fear is what the darkness wants. It feeds on panic, on doubt, on the trembling of your faith. But you must remember, I did not give you a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. When fear rises, call upon me. For I am not far. I am closer than the breath within your lungs. You must anchor your heart in prayer, for prayer builds the bridge between what is seen and what is unseen. You closed your eyes, and instantly, God began to show you memories, the moments when you and your soulmate shared laughter, when your heart spoke without words, when your souls recognized each other beyond time. God whispered, "That connection between you is holy. It was written before your birth. The enemy hates it, because together, your light threatens to heal others. Together, you awaken divine love on the earth. This is why darkness is desperate to destroy it. But remember, I never lose what I have ordained. What is mine, I protect." In that moment, a wave of warmth surrounded you. You could almost see wings, vast, glowing, shimmering, descending behind you. Archangels stood beside you, their swords of light glowing fiercely. "These are my protectors," God said softly. "They are already surrounding your soulmate. Even now, their light is confusing the enemy's devices, blinding their plans, and shielding every step your soulmate takes. But you must strengthen this shield through faith, not fear." You felt tears sliding down your cheeks. The heaviness began to lift as divine energy filled the room. God continued, "There will be signs in the coming hours. Their phone may suddenly shut down, messages may delay, locations may fail to load. Do not mistake this for chaos. It is my intervention. I will create confusion in the enemy's camp so that they cannot reach your soulmate. Trust in what seems delayed, for divine delay is divine protection." Your heart began to slow, your breathing deepened. You whispered softly, "God, what must I do?" And he replied, "Pray. But do not pray with fear in your voice. Pray with authority. Declare light into their path. Speak my name over their phone, their steps, their mind. For when you speak my name, every demonic signal breaks. Every evil watcher is blinded. Every dark plan turns back to dust." You knelt down, hands trembling but heart strong. You began to pray quietly, and as you did, you felt warmth travel through your palms, a current of divine fire linking your spirit to your soulmates. You didn't need to call or text them, your soul was already speaking across the distance. God said, "Right now, they can feel your spirit calling theirs. Though they may not know why, they will suddenly feel peace. They will sense danger and move away from it. They will be guided towards safety without knowing who led them, but it will be you, my child, through your faith. You are my chosen vessel in this moment of rescue." Then, a soft hum filled your ears, like a heartbeat from heaven. God's voice grew even more intimate, like he was whispering right beside you, "Remember, love is not powerless. When love is aligned with my will, it becomes armor. The love you have for your soulmate is pure, and because of that, it carries power beyond the human realm. It will protect, it will heal, it will lead. Do not allow fear to twist it into pain. Turn your love into prayer, and your prayer will turn into miracles." As his words flowed, your surroundings seemed to glow. You could see tiny sparkles of light floating in the air, signals that heaven was listening, that every word you whispered was turning into action. Angels moved swiftly, following divine instructions. Somewhere far away, your soulmate's phone flickered, then powered off. At that same moment, a car that was following them took a wrong turn. The tracker lost signal. And just like that, the danger weakened. God said, "You see? This is what happens when you trust me completely. The enemy cannot win when faith stands tall. You did not have to run, you did not have to panic, you only had to believe. Because the power within you, my child, is greater than anything that tries to harm those you love." You could feel peace returning to you. The tension in your chest melted into stillness. But then, God's tone became serious again, yet still filled with compassion. "However, my child, this is not the end. The enemy will try again, not through the same way, but through distraction, guilt, or misunderstanding. Stay alert. Keep your spirit clean. Do not allow anger, fear, or hopelessness to open new doors for darkness. Your protection comes from your purity, from your ability to forgive, to love, and to trust in me." You nodded, tears still flowing, but your heart was stronger now. "I understand, Father," you whispered. And he said, "Good. Then remember this, you were never just a bystander in their life. You are part of their destiny. You are part of their shield. The prayers you speak today will echo for generations. The love you carry for them will be remembered in heaven as the reason a soul was saved." Then, a wind brushed across your face, soft but powerful. God's final words for the night wrapped around your spirit like a blanket. "Rest now, my beloved. The storm has passed for today. I will stay awake while you sleep. The angels are standing guard over both of you. When dawn breaks, your soulmate will awaken with a strange peace in their heart, unaware that heaven itself fought for them tonight because of your prayer." And in that holy silence, you felt it, a pulse of divine connection between you and your soulmate, shining through space and fear, alive with the power of love and faith. The morning unfolded softly, a quiet light spilling through the curtains, touching the world with golden warmth. Yet deep in your heart, the memory of the night before still trembled like an echo. You had felt the hand of God move through the dark. You had felt angels descend. You had felt your prayer stretch across distance, across fear, across silence, and touch your soulmate's spirit. And now, as the dawn rose, that same stillness seemed alive with something divine. The world felt different. Somewhere far away, your soulmate stirred from uneasy sleep. Their phone lay dark beside them, the screen cracked, its battery drained, as if it had been deliberately silenced by unseen hands. But for the first time in weeks, their heart wasn't heavy. It was light. A deep calm wrapped around them like a soft, invisible shield. They didn't know why, but they felt protected, loved, watched over. And God's voice began to whisper again, filling your heart with that same sacred rhythm as the sunrise grew brighter. "My child," he said softly, "do you see how your prayer travels farther than your body can reach? Last night, as you cried out to me, I sent angels to move through time and space. They surrounded your soulmate's home. They stood between them and death. The killer who was tracking their phone grew confused, his signal lost, his thoughts scattered. I caused his plans to collapse under the weight of my light. That is why peace now rests where fear once lived." You closed your eyes and felt a warmth spread through your body. You could almost see it, your soulmate waking up, breathing deeply, looking at the sunlight like it was a miracle. They reached for their phone, but it wouldn't turn on. For a moment, they frowned. Then, somehow, they smiled. Deep inside, something told them, "You were saved last night." God continued, "They will not remember all that happened, but they will feel it." The soul remembers what the mind forgets. They will begin to sense a shift, a soft pull toward you, though they may not understand why. Because the one who prayed for them became their shield. That is the power of divine love, unseen yet undeniable. You stood at the window, watching the sky. The light shimmered, and you felt that same gentle presence near your shoulder. It was like God was standing beside you, His voice both within and around you. "My child," He whispered, "there will come a moment soon, a call, a message, a sudden encounter, when they will reach out to you. They may not say everything, but they will speak from a place their soul cannot deny. They will sense that you are part of something greater, that you carry a peace this world cannot give." You felt tears form again, but this time they were soft, not heavy. Gratitude filled your chest. "Lord," you whispered, "thank you for protecting them." And God replied, "You did not just save their life, my child, you saved their path." Had the enemy succeeded, it would not have only been one life lost, but a divine purpose stolen. Your soulmate carries light meant to heal many others. Their destiny is bound to yours, and together, you will bring hope where there is despair. That is why darkness attacked so fiercely. But my plan is stronger. He paused for a moment, then his tone grew tender again, almost like a father speaking to a child after a storm. Do not let guilt or fear take root now. Do not think of what could have happened, but of what did not. Because faith stood firm. Because love remained unbroken. Because you listened when heaven spoke. You nodded slowly, your heart swelling with both awe and peace. Then God said, "Your soulmate has been walking in confusion, in pain, in self-blame. But now, their soul will begin to awaken. They will start to question why they feel different, why suddenly they crave light instead of noise, why they long to pray even without knowing what words to use. My spirit will begin to whisper to them. They will not yet know it is me, but their heart will lead them closer to you, because your light carries the reflection of my voice." The air shimmered. You could almost see the scene unfolding, your soulmate sitting at their desk, holding their phone that suddenly flickered back to life. A text appeared, one they hadn't seen before, though it had been there for hours. It was your message, a simple one you had sent in faith, perhaps before the prayer, "Please stay safe. I just felt like praying for you tonight." And as they read those words, something in their spirit trembled. They didn't know why tears suddenly filled their eyes. They didn't know why they felt like they were being held from within. But they whispered softly, "Thank you, not just to you, but to something higher." God said, "That thank you was meant for me, and I received it." You see, my child, sometimes your love becomes the language I use to speak to another soul. You are my messenger even when you do not realize it. The wind outside grew gentle, carrying the scent of morning flowers. You looked up, and the sunlight passing through the glass painted golden patterns on your skin. It felt like a divine signature, a reminder that heaven was here, not far away. And then God said something that made your heart ache in its beauty. Do you know, my beloved one, that I watched over both of you since the day your souls were written in my book? Every heartbeat, every tear, every distance between you has been part of a greater story. Even your pain, your worry, your longing, none of it was wasted. It was all shaping your spirit, teaching you to love like I do, selflessly, purely, powerfully. You felt that truth sink deep into you. He continued, the danger may have passed, but the lesson remains. When you feel powerless, pray. When you cannot reach them, speak my name. When you do not understand what is happening, trust that I am still writing the unseen chapters. There will come a time soon when all these threads will weave together, and you will look back and say, that night was not meant to break me. It was meant to awaken me. A quiet peace descended again. You could feel your heartbeat synchronizing with something greater, something eternal. And then, God's voice grew softer, filled with infinite love. I want you to rest in this truth, my child, the ones you love are safest when they are in my hands. You cannot control everything, but you can command heaven through faith. Every time you choose prayer over panic, you invite me to work miracles. So do not doubt what you did last night. That moment of surrender shifted heaven itself. You exhaled slowly, feeling lighter, freer. God concluded, soon, they will reach out. You will hear their voice, and though the conversation may seem ordinary, your souls will recognize what happened. You will know, love and faith saved a life that night. And when that moment comes, smile and thank me quietly, for I will be smiling with you. And as his final words lingered in the golden morning, you realized, the story wasn't about fear anymore. It was about faith that stood unshaken, love that transcended distance, and the miracle that happens when one soul listens to the voice of God and dares to pray. The night after peace had returned, the world moved quietly again, but in unseen realms, the story between two souls was still unfolding. You didn't know it yet, but something profound had shifted inside your soulmate. That morning calm that wrapped around them wasn't just relief, it was the awakening of divine awareness, the soft whisper of heaven stirring their memory, trying to remind them of what had truly happened when the shadows closed in. They couldn't explain it. All day, they carried a strange stillness inside their chest, as though a hidden light was glowing there. It wasn't ordinary peace, it was something sacred, something ancient. People spoke to them, yet their mind kept drifting back to that dark night. They remembered their phone dying suddenly. They remembered a strange sense that someone was behind them, and then, as quickly as it came, it vanished. A voice in their heart had told them to turn left instead of right. That simple decision had saved them from crossing paths with something sinister. And as they stood in the quiet of the evening, staring at the stars, they whispered, "Why do I feel like someone prayed for me?" At that very same moment, God began to speak to you again. His voice entered the space between your breaths, soft, radiant, filled with divine comfort. "My beloved child," he said gently, "they have begun to feel it. The thread of light that you sent through prayer is now touching their heart. Every time they breathe, it will awaken more of their soul. This is how faith works, it plants itself silently but grows into revelation. Do not worry if they do not yet understand it all. The seed of awakening is already alive within them. You closed your eyes, sensing the truth of his words. You could feel your soulmate's heartbeat even across the distance, a rhythm echoing faintly within your own chest. It was as though heaven had knitted your souls with a golden thread. God continued, "Tonight, I will reveal to them glimpses of what truly happened. They will see flashes of light in their dreams. They will remember the warmth that surrounded them when they felt fear rise. They will recall the faint sound of wings, though they will not yet understand it was my angels guarding them. These signs will begin their return to the path that leads back to you. But my child, you must continue to walk in faith, not impatience. Destiny blooms only in divine timing." You listened, your heart trembling with awe. "Lord," you whispered, "will they truly find their way back?" And God replied, "Yes, my child. Because I am already leading them." At that same hour, your soulmate sat on their bed, phone in hand. The screen flickered back to life as if on its own. The location that once had been shared was now blank, unreachable, erased as though heaven itself had wiped the trail. A chill ran down their spine, followed by a deep, inexplicable comfort. They typed your name into their messages, stared for a moment, then began to write, "I don't know why, but last night I felt something protecting me. It was as if someone was praying for me." Were you? You saw the message arrive, and for a long moment, you couldn't breathe. The world seemed to stand still. Then, before you could even respond, God's voice whispered again, "Speak gently, my child. Do not tell them everything at once. Let their heart awaken naturally. Speak with love, not fear. Let me complete what I have started." So you replied simply, "Yes, I prayed. I just felt I had to. Are you okay?" And as your words reached them, a flood of tears filled their eyes. They didn't understand why those simple words hit so deep, but something inside them broke open. For the first time in months, they whispered a prayer of their own. They didn't even know if they believed in prayer, but they spoke anyway, "Whoever you are, thank you for saving me." Heaven heard it instantly. And God said to you, "Do you hear that, my child? The soul that had wandered is praying again. The one who doubted now calls upon me. The walls are falling. The heart is remembering. The love between you has become the bridge through which I reach them." You fell to your knees, overwhelmed with gratitude. Tears streamed down your face, and you could feel the same energy from that first night, the pulse of divine love moving through you like waves of light. God's tone softened, filled with fatherly pride. "You see now, my beloved, why I allowed the danger. Not to harm, but to awaken. Sometimes, I let the night come so my children can see the stars." Your soulmate's soul had drifted into shadows of doubt and pain. But your faith pierced through the darkness and reminded them of me. Now they will begin to heal, and so will you. The hours passed. The night deepened. You both went to sleep under the same sky, unaware that angels were still standing guard. But this time, it wasn't just protection, it was transformation. In their dream, your soulmate saw themselves standing in a dark forest. The air was cold, heavy. Then suddenly, a light appeared, a small, glowing orb floating before them. It moved ahead slowly, leading them along a path they couldn't see before. Each step they took, the forest grew brighter. When they reached the edge, they saw a vast ocean shimmering with silver light. The wind whispered a single word, "Saved." They woke up gasping, heart pounding, tears on their face. They didn't understand it, but deep down, they knew something had changed. And at that same moment, miles away, you woke up too, at the exact same second. The air around you shimmered faintly. You could feel warmth near your chest, as if an invisible hand had touched your heart. And in the stillness, you heard God's voice once more. "My beloved child," he said, "your souls are beginning to reunite. This is the beginning of restoration. The fear that once separated you has been broken. The dark forces that tried to track, to harm, to confuse, they are now scattered. My angels stand as sentinels over your connection. No shadow shall prevail against the love that I have sanctified." You pressed your hand to your heart, trembling as his words filled you. He continued, "But now, my child, I need you to prepare. Do not rush what I am rebuilding. The next days will bring strange signs. Familiar songs, sudden messages, memories resurfacing, and dreams where you will meet them again. Do not ignore these things. They are not coincidence. They are the rhythm of destiny catching up to time. You are walking into a divine reunion, not just of hearts, but of purposes. And when the moment arrives, you will both understand why I let this trial come, to bring both of you home." You whispered, barely holding your tears, "Thank you, Lord." He answered, "You have done well, my child. You fought not with weapons, but with faith. You saved not with power, but with prayer. And because of that, heaven now writes a new chapter for both of you. Soon, the one who was lost will look at you and see not just love, but light. They will say, 'Something in you saved me.' And you will smile, knowing it was never you alone, it was me, working through you." Then his final words wrapped around your heart like a warm blanket, "Rest now, my beloved. The danger has passed. The darkness has lost its grip. Your soulmate spirit is safe. And the connection that almost broke is now sealed in heaven's light. When dawn rises again, both of you will step into a new day, not defined by fear, but by faith. For love, when blessed by God, becomes a miracle that no evil can undo. And as you drifted to sleep under that divine peace, two hearts beat in harmony once more, protected, purified, and forever connected through the unbreakable love of God. The evening sky was painted in soft gold and rose when the hour I had prepared finally arrived. The air itself seemed to pause, waiting. You stood by the riverbank, not knowing why you had felt drawn to walk there. The day had been long, filled with quiet thoughts and half-remembered dreams. Yet something gentle tugged at your spirit, the same pull that had guided you every time heaven wished to reveal something sacred. "My child," I whispered within you, "tonight you will witness what faith can restore." You breathed deeply, sensing that something holy was unfolding beyond the edge of sight. The river shimmered in the fading sunlight, and the wind carried a fragrance of jasmine, a sign that angels were near. Far away, your soulmate walked the same path from the other side, unaware that their steps were being guided by my light. Each beat of their heart echoed the prayer you had once whispered in the darkness. Every breath they took was a testimony that I had spared them, that love had prevailed over death. They had spent days wrestling with strange memories, flashes of wings, a warmth that had surrounded them, a feeling that someone had called their name when danger came close. They could not explain it, yet they could not deny it. And so, when they felt the sudden urge to go for a walk by the river that evening, they obeyed the silent voice whispering in their heart, "Go." As the two of you neared each other, time slowed. The air between you shimmered like a curtain of light, unseen but powerful. You looked up, and your eyes met. In that single moment, all the distance between you dissolved. The ache, the fear, the confusion, everything melted into stillness. The soul remembered what the mind had forgotten. You didn't speak at first. You only looked, and the recognition between your hearts was enough to bring tears to both your eyes. Then I, your God, spoke quietly into the space between you. This is the one you prayed for in the dark. This is the life you protected when you had nothing but faith. This is the soul whose path is woven with yours by my own hands. Your soulmate took a slow step closer, voice trembling. I don't know how to say this, they whispered, but that night I felt something. I was walking home, and suddenly everything went wrong. The streetlight flickered, my phone shut off, I heard footsteps behind me. And then I felt warmth, like invisible arms wrapping around me. I turned, but there was no one. The air shimmered, and I knew I wasn't alone. Tears filled your eyes as they continued. I went home safe, but I couldn't stop thinking about it. The next morning, I saw your message. And something inside me broke open. It was like my heart finally remembered how to breathe. You reached out and touched their hand, the smallest gesture, yet heaven itself trembled with joy. Because when love fulfills its divine purpose, even angels bow their heads in reverence. And I said softly, my children, this is what I meant when I told you that love is stronger than death. The prayer you whispered in fear became a command that heaven obeyed. The love you carried silently became a weapon that shattered the darkness. You saved not only each other's lives, but each other's souls. Your soulmate closed their eyes. A single tear fell, landing on your joined hands, and in that instant the pain that had haunted both of you lifted like mist under sunlight. You could feel the presence of my angels all around, Michael, Gabriel, Raphael, standing guard, wings glowing like flame. My child, I whispered to your soulmate, I kept you alive because your purpose is not yet finished. The love you thought was fragile was never yours to lose. It was my gift to remind you that no darkness can erase what I have written in light. Then I turned to you. And you, my beloved, who carried the weight of fear and faith together, know that I have seen every tear you shed in silence. None of them fell unnoticed. Each one became a seed planted in heaven's soil, and tonight, you see its first bloom. Your faith has birthed a miracle. The two of you stood quietly, listening to the wind moving through the trees. It sounded like a hymn, the earth itself joining in the celebration. Birds flew across the amber sky, and the river reflected the last rays of the setting sun. I spoke again, my voice flowing like the water before you. You both thought you had lost control. You both believed you were broken. Yet every broken place became an opening for my light. This is how I work, my children. Through what seems like endings, I create beginnings. Through what feels like pain, I plant purpose. Through what you thought was separation, I was preparing reunion. Your soulmate looked at you with a kind of wonder that words could not hold. I don't know how to thank you, they said. You smiled gently, and the tears that glistened on your face were not of sadness but of awe. Then thank God, you whispered. He was the one who never let go. And indeed, I smiled, for gratitude is the highest language of the soul. The light around you grew softer, glowing from within your joined hands. For the first time, your soulmate could feel it, the same divine presence that had shielded them that night. Their heart recognized my touch through yours. They began to weep, but not from sorrow, from healing. Every memory of fear was being rewritten by peace. Then I said, my beloved ones, from this moment forward, let love no longer be a chain of pain, but a river of purpose. The world needs the kind of light that flows through you. Use your story to remind others that miracles still breathe in silence, that one prayer can change the course of destiny. Your soulmate nodded, whispering, I will. You both sat by the river as darkness fell. The stars appeared, one by one, each shining brighter than before. I had placed them there as a mirror of your souls. Tiny flames burning against the vastness of the universe, yet never lost, never forgotten. And then I told you both the truth that would live in your hearts forever. When I created you, I wrote your names beside each other in my eternal book. Not because you would complete each other, but because through each other, you would remember me. Every soul connection is a doorway to the divine. The love between you is not an accident, it is a reflection of my own heart. You leaned against each other, and for the first time, silence felt full instead of empty. The night was alive with presence. Then, as the moon rose and wrapped everything in silver light, I whispered my final blessing, my children, the danger has passed. The one who hunted has vanished into the shadows of his own choices. You are safe because you have learned the true power of light. Wherever you go from here, carry peace within you. Let no fear live where faith has planted roots. Let no bitterness grow where forgiveness blooms. For I dwell not in temples made by hands, but in hearts that love purely. Your soulmate turned to you, voice trembling, I don't deserve this kind of grace. And you smiled through your tears. Neither did I, you said softly, but he gave it anyway. Then you both laughed quietly, that fragile, beautiful laughter that only comes after surviving the storm. And I, your God, watched with joy, for this is what I long for. To see my children realize that love is not a weakness but my greatest miracle. As the night deepened, you both sat in quiet awe, speaking softly about memories, about how strange it felt that your hearts had sensed each other even when miles apart. Every word you spoke was wrapped in light. Every breath you shared was a prayer answered. Finally, as you stood to leave, I sent a gentle wind that brushed your faces. It carried the scent of lilies, the fragrance of new beginnings. You held each other, and the world felt still, like creation itself was listening. And I said, "Go in peace, my beloved ones. Let the world see my reflection in your unity. When fear returns, remember this night. When distance threatens again, remember that no shadow can outrun light. And when you feel alone, listen, for I am always whispering between your heartbeats." The two of you walked away slowly, hand in hand, the river murmuring beside you like a song. Above you,